Hey gang, it's Seth. Um, I'm in a really, I'm in a funk again, I guess. Not bad. I seem to have a lot on my mind and I can't shake it. Um, so I'm doing a video right now. That's going to be more personal, so I'll try to tag that. So if you're not here for that stuff, you don't waste your time. And I understand that. Um, but I think I did my content videos today, so now I'm going to do a little me video. I'll maybe dump some of this that I got rattling around up here. Um, so, I want to preface this entire video by saying, well, the video is about me, why I'm not a Christian, and how I kind of stepped away from Christianity. And so what I want to say is, some of you may look at me differently after this. I don't say any of this to offend you. I don't say it to be offensive. I don't hate Christians, hate Christianity. I've said in several times in several comment threads that I believe, for the most part, Christianity is good, especially in its modern form. It's a lot more understanding and open than it was in the past, and more so than a lot of other religions out there. I view Christians as individuals. Just like any other group, I don't stereotype anyone. I'll generalize, but I don't stereotype. So if this is offensive, I don't mean it so. I hope you can understand. This is just about me getting it out there. And if you, for some reason, find the urge to say, you know what, F you, Seth, I can't believe you did that. It speaks more about you than it does to me, because if up until this point you respected me and thought I had some kind of insight, perspective, or something that kept you here, well, that's still there prior to this video. It was there, and it's going to be here after the video. So shame on you if that's the case. I'll pretty much just say it. So again, I hope you take this for what it is just, information about me, not any kind of personal attack, not even anything remotely of the sort. But I'm going to start way back when I kind of first started taking a step back from Christianity, I guess. Well, Roman Catholicism specifically. I was raised Roman Catholic. And for those of you who didn't have the pleasure of being raised in my era of Roman Catholicism, you're lucky. From what I understand, religions, I guess Christian religion as a whole have kind of modernized, but changed their methods. It modernized, got with the times, so to speak, in terms of what they accept and don't, and how they go about preaching from the pulpit. Now, when I was there, it was all doom and gloom, dour, gray, sin this and that. Everyone's a sinner. You're all sinners. And I'm sure you get some of that at some religions, but that was literally, there was no upbeat anything. It was all fire and brimstone, as I like to say. And sorry, I'm still again getting over this sickness that needs to go away. What I remember was sometime when I was somewhere between, I'm going to guess, 7 and 10 years old. I remember being in church, and it hit me. I'm like, the guy's up there. I apologize. I don't remember if it's a priest, father, minister, whatever. I'm not saying it to be offensive. I just don't remember. As a kid, none of you, you're all sinners. You're all born of sin. None of you are worthy. This is the thing. Like, none of you are worthy to walk besides God in heaven. And just all these bad things, and about how bad I am. I'm thinking, like, I'm 7 years old. Like, I just want to play baseball on the corner, play some hockey, and maybe play with some G.I. Joes. That was my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't do anything sin-wise. You may or may not agree with it, but the point is, it's like, I'm just a kid. Kids are kids. We're not stealing. We're not sloth. We're not murderous. We don't have all these bad intentions. We just want to grow up and have fun. But according to that guy, I was, awful and not worthy to walk besides God in heaven. And I'll get more on the second part on this later. The No, I guess I'll talk about it now. All my life, like, I've seen bad Christians. The mentality that, um, whether, I don't know, the position that, say, as Seth A and as Seth B, both live amazing lives, love people, charitable, help people, selfless, love their children, love their wives, collectively, whatever, and live exact mirror life. And one guy doesn't believe in God or believes in another God, and one does. That one's getting into heaven, and one is not. Who's going to be condemned to hell? I can't. That's something that kind of doesn't. I don't understand. But even more so, you have as Seth A, who's doing all these good things and living a righteous life outside of believing in God. There's plenty, and if you don't know these exist, you're willfully ignorant. Lots of Christians who live selfish, squander their lives, awful lives, but they do the correct check in the boxes. They go to church when they need to, whatever the church requirement is, and as long as they repent, they're, in their mindset at least, or in a lot of religious views, they're just going to heaven, and that's hard for someone like me to swallow. One question I always asked was, what if you have some group, whether it's Aboriginals, Inuits in the northern cold climates, Southern American tribes, whatever, who've never been exposed to Christianity. And again, I assume they live these righteous, wonderful lives and do all these things, they're automatically going to hell. The irony of it is, if God is responsible for everything, God creates everything, God has a plan, literally God created those people with the plan to send them to hell. Those are just kind of, I don't want to say hypocrisies, but just things that just I can't compute. They don't make sense. I can't understand that. There's crack babies born that die in hours, or don't even make it that far. Or kids getting raped. Issues with Islam. Like if God creates this, and this is all God's plan. God's creating these things that He's just kind of denying are counterintuitive. Like it doesn't make sense. Not to me, I'm sorry. And I can't have it. I've never had it explained to me in a way that makes it, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. The God works in mysterious ways thing to me is not an answer. The other thing that really pushed me away, that has nothing to do with Christianity itself, not anything to do with people, but in December 2004, my first deployment, we ended up going into Indonesia. And I want to say I probably talked about this more on my YouTube channel than I have with people in my life so far. And with the devastation I saw there, if you just look at the facts, hundreds of thousands of people died, drowned, wiped off the earth. If there's any God with any power out there, whether it's that or kids being raped and murdered and crack babies being born and all these things, if you have a God who has all this power and He's going to use it to either send this tsunami to kill all these people, or has the power to stop this tsunami, but is like, to me, that is not an admirable God. You may take that as blasphemous. Again, I just want to apologize. I don't mean it like that, but I just those mentalities don't line up. God is supposed to be merciful and great, but then that happens and He lets it happen. And so that I can't square up specifically with that. I can't do it. I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something will change one day. Maybe it won't. But it is what it is. The last part, I'm going to try to keep this short, maybe a moment or two. So with that said, I'm not an atheist. I don't believe that there is no God out there. I'm if anything, classify myself as a deist. And the short, dummy down version of what deism is, a deist believes that there's a higher power in the big form. Most people say it's God, but the way they look at that kind of differs, and many believe in the Christian or Catholic God, but they believe that one of two things. One point God hit a light switch and then left everything, and everything that's happened since then is a consequence of nature, of order, of cause and effect, things playing themselves out. Asteroids hitting each other, going off in this direction, which hits another one, and a star exploding, which pushes that and hits a planet that one day, millions of years later, forms life because of what was on it and what elements are on it. Randomness. The other thought is there was no light switch, so to speak, but there is a higher power, and whether it was a light switch or just the creation, something happened. Okay. But since then, everything has been asteroids hitting each other, dumb luck and logic and cause and effect, and consequences of your actions. We don't believe that if two people die or one person dies from the same cancer that the other person does, it's because God's like, you're good, you're dying, you're gonna be good, you'll live for a little bit but then die later. Some people react to the medicine better. Everything is cause and effect. We have, as people, have created medicines and ways to combat these things, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the person takes care of themselves. Consequences, reactions, individual accountability. That's a big thing in deism. It's not, I didn't win the lottery because God was like, Seth, you're good today, you got the lottery. I picked the right or wrong numbers. That's it. That's kind of deism in a nutshell. And that's, I guess, in the loosest term. There's no churches, there's no groups, there's no sermons. Not that I know of anyway, and if they are, they're just very loose, and it's more based on ideals and principles and things like that, not preaching religion. Excuse me. So, that's deism, that's me, that's my journey with Christianity. The last thing I want to say is, I respect Christianity. I do. I think I said it here, I don't remember because I've been talking for a while, but Christianity has been great for my life. It's helped introduce me to a lot of the majority of my principles, my morals, and I believe it's for the most part, a good force throughout the world. The problem becomes, just like any group, it's when people corrupt it. But Christianity and organized religions are very, very, very easily corruptible, and that's one of the inherent dangers. So I hope none of you look at me differently. I don't look at any of you. I know several of my viewers are very religious. Some are slightly religious, and some are atheist. And I don't judge based on that, because if you're an atheist or if you're a devout Christian, but you have the same practices, same beliefs, and the same mentalities, I'll view you the same. Hope you can appreciate that. I hope you can appreciate where I'm coming from. And again, this is more of just a video for me to get these things out here. Personal video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a little insight into me. And I hope you have a great night. Thanks, gang.